Joining me now, Trump campaign national spokeswoman Katrina Pierson. Great to have you with us. Townhall.com political editor, Fox News contributor Guy Benson. Great to have you with us, Guy. Katrina, let's start with your candidate, who just, by the way, concluded his remarks in Greenville today, taking on the RNC and threatening an independent run if they continue this. It's pretty clear that audience was made up of, well, let's say folks who had made up their minds and donors. What's the next step here?
Well, I think Mr. Trump is really pointing it out to everyone. You know, Mr. Trump seems to be the only candidate unafraid to do that. It does take courage to take on the entire establishment. And these crowds are stacked. We've seen that happen the last couple of debates. It's been very difficult for campaigns to get tickets. And it's wildly supported by lobbyists and special interest groups that are there. And I think we saw that play out Saturday night.
Guy, what do you think? I mean, it was pretty clear that the establishment candidates have been treated well by the establishment.
Oh, what a shame. I mean, in the last debate...
Well, no, I'm not. I don't. By the way, neither I nor Trump were begging for mercy.
Well, no, Trump's complaining, as he always does. He whines about everything when it doesn't go his way. In the last debate, Marco Rubio, clearly the knives were out for him in the crowd, too. It was a big Kasich, Bush, Christie crowd.
Right.
Rubio had that terrible exchange with Christie, and Rubio didn't come out and start whining about it and saying, oh, this isn't fair.
No, I thought he handled it very well.
I'm going to run third party. How many times is this guy going to threaten to run third party, having signed this pledge, grasping at any straw to claim that it's been violated?
Well,
there's a two-sided pledge, though, Guy. I mean, come on. The RNC made an agreement, too, and they're not keeping it.
In what way?
You know,
what specifically has the RNC done?
I'll say this. Well, first of all, they have been stacking the debates for the establishment candidates. And secondly, I was there. Of course, I know some of these people. I was there. We couldn't get extra tickets. So, yes, and there were empty seats. We could have gotten extra tickets, Guy. But I'll say this for Mr. Trump, just real quick. The fact that he's always, quote-unquote, complaining, he's always pointing out facts and stating the obvious. Mr. Trump is not going to be one of those Republicans that tucks his tail and hides in the corner when something wrong is happening.
No, he claimed that he won Iowa and that it was a fraud in Iowa that he lost to Ted Cruz. That is not a fact. He whined endlessly about Megyn Kelly. It was a feud over months and months. These aren't facts. These are emotional opinions. Sometimes he has a point, sometimes he doesn't. But just saying all he does is have the guts to say what's true, that is not always the case.
He says what he feels, and that is what's true. Yeah. And when he is defending himself.
Okay.
So let's go to Jeb and George W. Do you think, Guy, that that's going to help Jeb Bush, his brother's appearance today and his being on the campaign trail?
Yeah, I think it's probably a mixed bag for Jeb because President Bush is extremely popular within the Republican Party, 80% approval rating, a big rehabilitation in his image nationally as well since he left office. But it's also a reminder that Jeb is a Bush. He was, oh, I'm a separate man. I'm my own guy. I'm not going to be relying on my family. Well, now he's relying very heavily on his family. And it's also, I think it helps a guy like Donald Trump who's saying, we need not politicians anymore. And this is a political family coming and helping its own.
Katrina, your thoughts on?
I'm going to have to agree. I'm going to have to agree with Guy. I mean, besides, this type of endorsement is not good when we're talking about a candidate that supports trade deals that killed a third of the manufacturing jobs in South Carolina, that doubled the deficit and increased foreign workers by 24 million. That's not conservative either, and so I just really don't think it's going to help much. And
we're going to have to leave it there. You know, it's fascinating to see, I see a little competitive fire for your candidate there, Guy. Who's your guy?
I'm mostly choosing at this point between Cruz and Rubio, but I have respect for a lot of folks in the field, frankly.
Okay. And Katrina, I won't ask you that question because it's pretty clear.
He's a paid spokeswoman.
Go Trump.
Katrina, thanks so much. Katrina Pierson,
Thanks,
Guy
guys.
Benson. Thank you both. Appreciate it.